Okay, so in this example, we are going to simplify this complex fraction. It's a little different than the last example. So what we're going to look for is the least common multiple of the four smaller denominators in this expression. So if you look here in the larger numerator, 12 plus 6 over x, we have a denominator of 1 and x. And then the bigger denominator, we have a denominator of 1 and x squared. The least common multiple of those four is going to be x squared here. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply this complex fraction by a value of 1 in the form of x squared over x squared. So we're not changing the value because we're multiplying by 1, but what this is going to do for us, it's going to simplify the fraction, and it's going to remove those smaller denominators. So we're going to distribute x squared to both of these terms, 12 and 6 over x. And then we're going to distribute x squared to the denominator, to the 12, and then 3 over x squared. So in the numerator, when we do that, we're going to end up with a 12x squared. The second term here, this x in the denominator, is going to simplify with this x squared by a factor of x, and that'll leave us with 6x. In the denominator, when we multiply by x squared, we're going to end up with a 12x squared, and then we're going to end up with a minus 3 after the denominator x squared here simplifies with the x squared that we're multiplying by, leaving us with this denominator. At this point, we need to continue to look to factor. So individually, in the numerator and denominator, we're going to look for common factors, or however we can factor this expression. So I see that 12x squared plus 6x has a common factor of 6x, and in the denominator, I see 12x squared minus 3 has a common factor of 3. So we're going to factor that out first. And then what we're going to do is we're going to simplify what we can. So the factor 3 in the denominator is going to simplify with the factor 6 in the numerator, leaving us with a 2x times 2x plus 1. And then our denominator is going to be 4x squared minus 1. If you noticed, after you pull out the factor of 3 in the denominator, 4x squared minus 1 is a difference of 2 squares, which will factor into 2x plus 1, 2x minus 1. You're welcome to factor that before you do this simplification here. Continuing on, once we factor the difference of 2 squares, I notice that we have a common factor of 2x plus 1 in both the numerator and denominator, so we're going to simplify that, leaving us with a final simplified value of 2x over the quantity 2x minus 1.